Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I thought we would do the Queen Elsa hair. Basically, you can use it for any of the princesses that have like a long hair with a braid. You could use it for Rapunzel by just making this braid a lot longer and the positioning of it on the head. I have positioned this one slightly to the side here. This is the front of the wig, and then I've positioned the braid on the side so that it comes over the shoulder like so. I'm doing exactly the same for my Ariel wig, except I'm doing it in red. So you can do this in brown for your princesses with long hair. You can put the braid for Rapunzel at the very back instead of on the side, so it would come down the back. So it's up to you where you position the braid. Okay, what I'm going to show you is the technique that I've actually used to get this hair into the sort of a messier look than just having a wig, but also to be able to have the extra bands to do the braid. It is very band intensive. It will take a lot of bands up. What you basically have underneath here is the wig, the basic wig that goes with the Izzy Bizzy Doll. So you will need to go to the tutorial for the basic wig, and I will link that in the description below so that you can find that link nice and easily. And you need to make the basic wig in the colour that you choose. Now the colour that I've used is Mother of Pearl from Rainbow Loom, okay? And you are going to start with your basic wig just like this, and follow the instructions on how to do that. The other thing you're going to need, if you look inside my wig, I have the big button here. It's actually a 23mm button. I have one here. And this is the button that is going to be attached to the magic ring that we have made. Let's see if we can even find our magic ring. There it is here. So we're going to attach that at the end to the magic ring, and that is how we attach the wig to the head of our Izzy Bizzy doll. But in the meantime, we need to do each of these little strands, okay? Now I haven't got them going through every single part of the wig. What I've done is I've gone through the outer edge here of my wig, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in so you can see very, very clearly what I'm doing. I'm working in the post. So if you were looking at the stitch, this is the stitch here, okay? I'm not working in the actual stitch. I'm going out from the stitch and I'm coming between the stitch. So I'm going in through the stitch in front and coming out through the stitch behind, so that I have this little bit here on my hook, okay? And then what I'm doing is I'm grabbing my bands, and for the front part of the head, this part here, this where the bangs are, or as we call it in England and Australia, the fringe, you're going to take a single band, pull it through that post, okay, and hold on to it, and then you're going to chain 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so that is one strand. Now we're going to collect a bunch of these strands. Okay, let me zoom out again. So here we go. We're going to collect a bunch of these. You can put them on an extra hook. You can put them on a pencil, whatever, as a holding hook. I even have a knitting needle which I can use, which is great because it's quite long. So you're going to pop that on here. And you're going to go through the next stitch. And if you have a look, it's here. So you go through from front to the back, and then from the back to the front, and there's your next post. Okay, and we're going to do another 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 12. And again, you're going to take your holding hook, your pencil, whatever you're holding this on, and pop that on, and you're going to be collecting these strands. Okay, so I have collected 6 little strands, okay, on my pencil. I'm going to transfer these onto my hook, and if you have a spare hook, you can just hang on to them on your hook. That works just as well. It's just to keep them all in order. I found about 6 pair or 6 strands at a time is good to link them all together. And I have cheated. I've taken the liberty of cheating so that I can speed ahead to show you what I'm doing and not take 100 hours. So with 6 strands on your hook, okay, you're going to take a single band and you will pull these all onto that single band. Now I have these stitch markers that lock. They sort of clip into place, and that's fabulous. If you don't have, here's my little locking one. I quite like this. You can just pop this on like that and then lock it into place, and that's secure. They're not going to go anywhere. You don't have to use that. If you don't have that, it doesn't matter. All you want to make sure is that this little pair of band, this single band here, these 2 loops, don't go anywhere. If you want to pop them on a pencil just so that they don't go anywhere, that is fine. Now you are going to go all the way around in each stitch around your head. You're going to do the single crochet chains, and you're going to do 12 per chain in every little post stitch that we have. Now I've cheated. I've done this. Okay, I've gone around and I've done this all right, all the way around, and I've actually even joined some of these together in my head for this particular one. I have another one that I've been working on, which I'm going to move to. This is my cheating bit. Here's one I prepared earlier. So as you can see, I've got 6 chains, and I've used my little stitch marker to hold them together. 6 chains, 6 chains, 6 chains, and this is the back of the head. This I've got more than 6 chains. I just did all of them, so I've got 2, 4, 6 and 8 chains. You can split them into 2 or 4, two 4s if you want, or just leave it as the 8. It really doesn't matter. Now the thing that we're going to have to do is link all of these into the top of the head here. Link them all up like this to form the hair, or the texture of the hair. Looking at this, you can see that this part here is the bangs. It then comes down and around to the back of the head, so you know that this is the back. These 2 are the front of the hair, and then you've got 2 on the side either here for the sides, and another 2 as the sides. We're going to work with the 2 at the front first, okay? And what I've done, what I wanted to try and do, is join the loop that's holding these 6 and the loop that's holding these 6 together. So I'm going to undo, or take off my pencil. You're going to undo this one. Put your hook through. Okay, whichever, it doesn't matter which way you put it through, really. There we go. Take your stitch marker off, or whatever you happen to have used. There's my little loop here for the other side of this band. So I'm just going to pop that on my hook too. So there's my loop, my band holding these 6. I'm going to do the same on this side, so that I have this one here as well. Now this one, there's the other side of my loop here. So I need to be careful because I want to take this off, and I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to stretch it out and put my hook under where that, hopefully you can see, and then put my hook back on there. Oh no, I missed it. That was silly. Let's see if I can catch it without losing all 6. I did, so I've caught it. If it unravels, just redo it, it's fine. So, as I said, I want to join these together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this one of this end off, okay? And I'm going to, with the end of this one, I'm going to put this one up and over, all right, so that it's been connected that side. Now, I also want to connect these other two. So what I'm going to do, again, if I have a stitch marker or a pencil, I want to hold that stitch so that I can take it off my hook. So I'm going to use a stitch marker, but if you have a pencil, put it on the end of a pencil or a stitch marker or a C-clip just to hold it. You're then going to connect the other two ends like this, and again, one over the other, okay? And then here's the other end again, and put that back on your hook so you've reclaimed those two, one over the other, so you're left with one loop only. And then what we're going to do, hold on to it, go through from the underside through the top of it like this to grab that little loop and pull it back so that it's on the inside, okay? And what we're going to do, hold on to it or put your stitch marker back so we don't lose it. We don't want to lose that little loop, that's important. We're going to go through our magic ring at the front here. Where is it? Here it is, right here. Go through your magic ring. You're going to pop your little loop that's on your stitch marker onto your hook. You still need your stitch marker or your pencil, whatever it is you're using, C-clip. Pull that little loop through the magic ring to the inside of the head and put your stitch marker back on and just, or C-clip, and just hold it in place on the inside of the head. So you have flipped up the bangs so that they are attached here in the center, okay? And they're being attached on the inside. I'm not tying this off yet. Now, put this down like this. This is the back of the head here. You know that this is the bangs. We're going to do the same to these two now, okay? So what we have to do, again, is undo your stitch that's holding it. So how I do that, you can take one off the other if you want to. You can just splay it open like that. That works perfectly fine. And hold it. So I've got one side on my hook here. Now we have to do the other side. So here we go. Undo my stitch marker. I want to go through that side of the band and through this side of the band, and I'm going under it so when I take it off the stitch marker it doesn't unravel. There we go, like that. So there's my two sides, okay? Remember, I'm taking this side off. I'm going to put a stitch marker on to hold it in place. Now what I want to do is have, and I haven't done this in a very good way, I'm going to put a stitch marker or a C-clip either side, okay? Either side of that one to hold it in place. So this side, you're marrying up the two. So this is the left, this is the right, this is the left. This is the right, this is the left. You want the left and the left together. So let's go through here and move one over the other and put your stitch marker on it to hold it in place again, or your C-clip. And then the right and the right. Again, one over the other. So you're joining these up. And then find the other side there. Oops, I locked my stitch marker. One over the other. And then you want this loop to come out from under it. So just put your loop through like that and pull it down this way. Again, let's put our stitch marker on so we don't drop it, or your C-clip. That is the little loop that is going on the inside. So position your hair, find your center here, and what we're going to do, go through from the inside, and I probably would go a little spot further back from where you were so for the bangs, you came through the center here. Okay, so you can go through the center again, put your loop on your hook. I know this is terribly fiddly, isn't it? Pull it through, pull that loop through, and again use a separate stitch marker, and that will become clear as to why, or a C-clip, doesn't matter. Okay, because we're going to link these all up. Have a look at this and see if you like how it looks. Are you seeing too much of the wig underneath? I'm quite happy with how that looks. Okay, now we're going to do these two, so, and it doesn't matter if this starts pulling this up, that doesn't matter, because we'll use that to our advantage, because it sort of makes it easier to then do this curl that we have going on the sides. Again, let's do this. So I'm going to take one side off, and my stitch is over here, so go through. I'm going to take that stitch off, but I'm going to keep it safe by putting a stitch marker on it. I keep saying you can use a C-clip, it doesn't matter. Here's the other one that marries up, because that's the back of the head. This is the other one. So again, let's undo one of these. Alright, so there's my one side, here's the other side. So we'll do the two right hand sides. So there's my right hand side to marry up with my right hand side. One over the other, and you can put a stitch marker on it, or you can just leave it on your hook, whichever is more comfortable for you. And we'll do this side, put your hook in, remove the stitch marker, hook in, remove the stitch marker, one over the other, then go to the other side here. Alright, and you will put one over the other. I'm going to just push it over the I'm going to move it through the stitch marker I have, like that, and then I'm just going to push this through the bottom so that it's coming out through the bottom, so that I can position that like this. Now before I position those, what I want to do is position these back ones, because the back ones will determine where I put these ones. So what I'm going to do, I've just flipped those under, I'm going to do these back ones. Now I have all 8 of these on a single band like that. I'm going to undo. No, I'm not. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to put that on my hook. That's my dorky laugh, but so like we did with the bangs, I'm just going to pull them up to where I think it's not, I don't want it to be stretched or pulled tight. I want it to still feel good. So I need to go about here. Okay, so I'm going to pinch this and put my hook through about here and add that loop to my hook and pull it through and put a stitch marker on it, so I know that it's not going to go anywhere, like that. Okay, so that's the back of my head. I've got that in, and now when I flip this one up again, see how I can work out how far up I need to pull it. So this again, I'm going through the back of my head, well, not my head, her head. Find a position where you want this to be. You might want it here, and it's trial and error. You can always undo this and reposition to see if you've got it right or not. Pull that band through the wig and stitch marker, C-clip, S-clip, whatever you're using to hold it in place. Turn it round. Now again, you can see these are the bangs. This is slightly flipped up. As I said, it's not going to matter, because that's where we're going to put the little braidy bits. It doesn't matter if this looks a bit higgledy-piggledy. It's hair. It's supposed to look a bit higgledy-piggledy. You can straighten these out. Okay, tuck those under like this, and then this would be the parting. Now for these on the inside, I want to have a button on the inside here that is going to attach to my doll's head. So with that in mind, I'm going to make use of these little stitches that I have on the inside. I'm going to start from the furthest one from the magic ring, put my hook in, take my stitch marker off, and find the next one, and again stitch marker off, and I'm going to pull the one that's furthest away up and over so that it's held in place, and I'm now working with this one. I'm going to do the same. It doesn't matter which of these two you choose because they're both in the magic ring, one over the other, and then lastly we're going to do this one, one over the other. Now I really would like my button to go on here so that I have it in the center of my head, so I'm using my little threader. I'm hoping that I have enough leeway to be able to stretch this band. I'm going to put my stitch marker through it like so, and then I can remove my hook. I'm using, as I said, the 7/8 or something. I think I mentioned at the beginning how big this button was, 23mm or something. Pull my button through. Okay, you really want to put your hook on the end of it because it will go AWOL. There's a bit of a tight fit. Let's see if I can untwist my band so I can get my hook in. There we go, hook's in. Take the threader out. And now all I do is move that down. I'm going to splay this open, the end of this band, and it is tight, but once it's around the button it should reduce, as long as it doesn't snap. My fingernails are getting in the way. Here we go. Through we go, buddy. There we are. And so that's a nice and tightly secured button on the inside of the head. Flip it over and it will take a little bit to, you know, stretch it into shape a bit. So there's the button at the top of the head, and this is the main part of our wig. So if I get my Izzy Bizzy Doll, and let's see, that's the front here. So this is how we're looking so far. Okay, where's the front? Here's the front. And once obviously you have the button securing it, it will be a little better. Now from the sides here and to the back, this is where we're going to do our braiding. Okay, so you can sort of position it on her head. You don't have to do the button, but we're going to start from where it starts to flip up. Okay, so if you want to use your markers to mark a spot, you can. If you don't feel you need to, that's fine as well. These are a bit tight, but I don't think it matters too much. It's pulling it all in, but it'll be fine once it's actually on her head. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to go through where I see some stitches here, and I'm not going through posts or anything for this. I'm literally going to just go through and chain. Now I'm doing chains of this time. I think we're going to be doing chains of 25. Let me have a little look to make sure that I'm not telling you fibs. No, these ones are still going to be 12. So for the side of the head here, we're doing 12 chains of 12. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got about 9. So what I'm doing, I'm going to be doing either side of her hair here about 9, or however many fit in. We'll see how we go. Braids of 12. So let's see how we do here. And then you have to work out where you want your braid. So for Elsa, I had the braid on the side of the head. As you can see, I have the braid on this side. So I don't actually have 9 on this side because I made the braid, whereas I do have the 9 on this side. So you can leave that just so that it's flipped up, or you can put a couple of extra braids here and include them into this big braid. Now this big braid, they're chains of 25. Okay, if you want it longer, you make it longer, 30, 35, 40, depending how long you want it, if it's for Rapunzel or whatever, but that's completely up to you. So let's do a couple on this side, and I will get back to you when I've done my my little ones on this side, and I'll show you how we curl them into each other and then move them into the braid. Okay, so I'm going to do 9 down here. Okay, so I am back, and I have my little Izzy Bizzy Doll hair actually on her head with the button. Okay, so I've put it on her head so that we have it positioned correctly to do this. I have my 9 little strands, and I've got a tie-off band joining them all together at the end. So 3, and there's another 3, and here is my last 3. Okay, and they come down from about where we start with your hair at the corner for the bottom side. So we've got this like that. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to turn her over, and if I take this last set of 3 and just twist them once or twice like that, and you don't want them too twisted, so maybe 1, yeah, I mean, so I've got it, I'm going to twist it once, I'm going to twist it sort of 1.5 times. I want it to fit here. Okay, now here's that little tie-off band I've got. I'm going to say I want it to be placed here, and I have put a stitch marker here to indicate that when I start the braid, this is the band that I'm going to go through. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'll take this little stitch marker off for a second, because what I'm going to do, I want to put this little loop that I have through here and have that incorporated in this. So when we do the braid, I want this little bit here to be incorporated into that first stitch. So I'm going to put my hook through the first stitch. I've also got my hook on the little loop that was there, and I'm going to do these together on with my stitch marker. Again, you can use a C-clip, but that is just so that I know that that is to go together here. Now you don't want it too tight. It's going to go loose until we stitch it in, but you don't want it to be too tight. You want this to be sort of a messy-ish loop. If you feel that's too loose, undo the tie-off band so that it's not looped in. And so what you'll have then, get out of our stitch, is the 2 loops of your tie-off band. If I can get my stitch marker through it, and then your stitch, the 2 loops of your stitch, and that will make it a bit tighter if you're worried about that. Then you're going to go to the second one, and again hold the little tie-off band that we did, twist it once and twice. Now this one it's going to position, you're going to join it about halfway through the other one, but what you're going to do is move aside one of these little chains here to position it. So move the chain aside and go in through the wig. Okay, go put your hook through a piece in the wig, go through that tie-off band, and you're going to drag one side of the tie-off band through the wig as well, and then use that tie-off band, and I didn't do that very well, let's try that again. So I'm through the wig, I've got one side of my tie-off band, and I'm going to do a slip knot and make it tight. You're not going to see that band, it's going to be hidden in with the wig. Okay, and as I said, this one will tighten up as we stitch it in, so don't worry about that one. And again, if the chains aren't all even, it doesn't matter, it's hair. You're going to do the same with this first one. You're going to go about halfway between this one, so twist it once or twice or 1.5 times, find a spot, go through the chains here till you find the wig, find a spot on the wig, and there's no specific spot, it's just a spot. Undo your tie-off band here and put one side through the wig, grab your other end and tie a nice tight slip knot. If you're worried that that band is going to poke out through the wig, tuck it under. Okay, so this is how we've done this sort of little curling braid at the back here, and this, as I said, we're going to tie this in. So now what we're going to do is chains of 25, and I've worked out where I want it from. I want it from where the third one finishes until, if you straighten this out, until where we start this bottom part. So here we've got the bangs, we come down, here's the bottom part. It is going to flip up a bit, don't worry about that. What we're going to do, take your first stitch marker off, make sure you don't lose your little loops here. Go through where we were, and you might want it tighter or looser, it's completely up to you. Okay, go through those 2 little stitches. So you're almost using this stitch as your first crochet stitch. So you're going through the stitch here on your wig, draw one side through and grab the other side and do a slip knot. Okay, now what we need to do is a chain of 25. So go through your next chain here, and we're going to pull one through, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to do this till you've got a chain of 25, and you're going to do that in every single chain that you see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 6 for me. 6 chains of 25, and I'll see you back when we've both done that. So I have done my chains of 25. Okay, I've ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want 9 because when I do the braid I really want to have 3 in each of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we've done 7, I'm going to do an extra on this side and an extra on this side. So I'm just going to the next stitch here, and I'm going to do 25 down here. Okay, and then I'm going to go under here into this stitch here. If you can see, there's just a little stitch here, and I'm going to go under here, and I'm going to do 25 down here. Alright, and then when I've done that, we're going to braid these, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm sure a lot of you know how to braid, but anyway, I will show you how to do that. So 25 here and 25 on this one, then we'll be back together. So I have my 9 little strands here. I've got 3 this side, 3 this side, and 3 in the middle. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by taking the 3 on the right and placing them on top of the 3 in the middle. I'm going to take the 3 from the left and put them on top of these, and then again over, and I'm sure you all know how to braid, but if not, it's pretty easy to practice on somebody's hair. So we're just going to braid these down like this, and then when we get to the end, what we have to do is collect all these little ends up on our hook and tie them in together. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to firstly get a single band, and like we do with regular hair, I'm going to place a single band around the end here, like so, to keep it in place. Alright, and then I'm going to undo each of these one at a time, and we're going to join them all together. I'm going to put them on my hook. So I have all my little ends on the end of my hook here. I'm going to take a single band, and we're going to slide these over, and we're going to reclaim, and we're going to put one over the other and tie in a tight slip knot. Okay, now this end is just going to be lost in all the tangles of the band. Okay, that's just how it will be. If you want to undo this a little bit, you can. If you want to put another one on at the bottom so it looks a little different, you can. So there she is. It's all braided up. You can put little beads in. As I mentioned, you don't have to just have the braid on this side. You can have it on both sides, or you can basically you can do it however you want, like you would do your normal hair. You could have two little pigtails coming down the side. You could put these strands all the way either side this side and either side this side, and have one coming down the middle. Completely up to you. I thought this colour might be quite nice for an Ariel doll. Gotta always love a redhead. But then, as you have seen, we have the blonde one, which was the Queen Elsa. We also could do a brown one for some of our bells and auroras and things like that. So there we go. I know it's very band intensive. I have not counted how many bands. I would say you need quite a few, but I will get back to you on the band count and put it in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, guys. Bye.